Dear students, welcome to lesson number 14, press conference and press kit. Objectives: 1. Understand the importance of media relations. Explain the need of press conference. 3. Learn how to organize a press conference. 4. List out hints for spokesperson. And 5. Know the material that goes into a press kit. Press conference is an important tool for building and managing public relations and can help enhance media relations. Media relations is just one aspect of public relations. Others include strategic communications, community relations, crisis communications, and social media communication, to name but a few. Media relations are one way to gain publicity and further the organization's aims. Media coverage for an organization depends on maintaining good media relations and serving the print and electronic media effectively. A press conference, or variously called as news conference or media conference, is a media event in which notable individuals or organizations invite journalists to hear them speak and ask questions. Press conferences are often held by politicians, corporations, non-governmental organizations, and organizers for newsworthy events. A press conference is one of the most effective ways to communicate with the media and draw their attention. PR materials like press releases, backgrounders, fact sheets, dossiers, and media kits are great ways to get the messages heard, but press conferences are the way to go regarding a special occasion or pressing issue. As a person in the middle between the management and the media, the PR manager is expected to organize press events like 1. Press conference, 2. Press briefing, 3. Press reception, 4. Meet the press, 5. Press tours, and 6. Informal press get-togethers. These events provide PR opportunities for media exposure to the activities of the organization. In this lesson, we discuss two things, that is press conference and press kit. A press conference is a staged public relations event in which an organization or individual presents information to the members of the mass media. It is an interview given to journalists by a prominent person in order to make an announcement or answer the questions. It is an interview or announcement given by a public figure to the press by appointment. It is a meeting at which a person or organization makes a public statement and reporters can ask questions. It is a pre-arranged interview with news reporters held to elicit publicity or as granted by a dignitary, public official, research scientist, etc., to fulfill a request from the press. And a press kit is a collection of materials that provides information about a person, organization, or product to the media and the public. Press conference has evolved just 110 years ago. White House of America introduced the system of interaction between the president and the press to communicate through conferences and briefings. Woodrow Wilson held the first press conference in March 1913, giving the public a means by which to question their elected officials. President Dwight D. Eisenhower held the world's first televised presidential press conference in January 1955. That event took place in the Indian Treaty Room, a space with poor acoustics and limited seating. President Eisenhower introduced this as an experiment in communication. This room has been used for presidential press conferences from 1955 until 1961. The present day press conferences are held at a place where all the facilities are available. What is a press conference? It is a get-together of pressmen where a senior official of the host organization divulges news or announces an important decisions. It can also be called to place on record the organization's point of view on an important matter concerning it. There are also informal press gatherings, often convened at short notice. The idea is that journalists do not have to chase a report individually, but are collectively provided with information. The reporter's queries are answered and doubts clarified at such conferences. Press conference is a collective interview. In short, it is a collective interview given to newsmen by a very important person. The conference can be called at short notice if the situation demands it. In other words, there should be hard news to give, like a major oil find, or a new source of mineral, or announcement of a major policy decision, etc. The term press conference should not be confused with the more elaborate press luncheon or media dinner and press briefing, although people mistakenly use them as interchangeable terms. The press conference is an important source of news. The chief spokesman and the press correspondents have a face-to-face dialogue. Unlike a press release, which is a one-way communication, a press conference is a two-way process. News can be disseminated through a press release also. A press conference is not necessary if news can be conveyed by a press note. The personality of the spokesman also matters here. An astronaut, a military hero, a film star, a celebrity cine actor or director, proprietor of a major corporation, a political leader, PM of the nation, CM of a state adds to what they say. But there may be subjects which need amplification. After the spokesman has said whatever is to be given out, the correspondents are free to ask questions for eliciting information on any point. The question and answer session forms an important part of the press conference. Media people are very busy people. They should therefore be invited to the press conference only when there is some important news worth their while. If the PR manager can manage with a press release, he should not invite reporters to a press conference. The PR manager should think twice before organizing a press conference. If reporters feel they have been unnecessarily called for a press conference, they will be annoyed. Call a press conference only if it is of real service to the media and would yield them something more than what they would get otherwise. Let us explore the importance of press conferences and press kits in public relations, their role in shaping public opinion, and the key elements that make them effective. A press conference is a formal event where an organization or individual invites media representatives to share information, make announcements, and answer questions. Press conferences have been a staple of public relations for decades. They offer an opportunity for the organizations to share their story, showcase their achievements, and address pressing issues. A well-planned press conference can generate significant media coverage, build brand awareness, and influence public opinion. In today's digital age, press conferences can be held in person or virtually, making it easier to reach a wider audience. Preparing the venue. There are a number of things that the PR manager can do to prepare the room where the press conference is held. Here are some tips. 1. Check the location of electrical outlets for microphones and lights. 2. Set up the room with a table long enough to seat all the spokespersons with name cards. 3. Provide enough seating in the room for reporters and enough room for their supporting equipment like cameras, microphones. 4. Display visuals as a backdrop to your speaker's table, charts, posters, etc. 5. Have a sign-in pad for attendance, in other words, attendance register. 6. Provide a podium for the moderator, perhaps with the organization's logo on it. 7. Have coffee, tea, water and any other refreshments set up at the venue. Now, at the press conference. When the conference day finally arrives, there are a number of things the PR team can do to help the press conference run as smoothly as possible. Let us have a look at them step by step. A. Welcoming the members of the press as they arrive. B. Having the members of the press sign in with their affiliation and give each of them a press kit. C. Asking the reporters to sit comfortably. D. Checking the sign-in pad to see which media outlets are represented. PR manager may also want to make personal contact with major media representatives before or after the conference. E. Starting approximately on time, no later than 5 minutes after the scheduled time. F. Recording the event for record and for possible media use. G. Having the moderator welcome the press and introduce the issue and participants. H. Each spokesperson should present for no more than 3 to 5 minutes, making his or her 3 to 5 key points. I. After all the presentations, the moderator should entertain any questions from the press and direct those questions to the appropriate spokesperson. J. After about 45 minutes, bringing the formal conference to an end. K. Thanking the participants for presenting and the media for attending. L. Asking the media persons to stay for further informal conversation with the spokespersons. Hints for spokesperson. Here are a few suggestions for both PR managers and the spokespersons. 1. The pressman should be free to raise any point and ask any relevant question. The spokesperson, while sticking to the theme of the press conference, should be prepared to answer the questions with confidence. A bit of humor will come in handy as it covers up inadequacies, if any, in the answers. Homework for the spokesperson is essential. 2. The spokesperson should always have his top executives at hand to help him in answering the questions. It does not mean that he contacts the top executives for every information during the press conference. 3. PR managers should also brief the spokesperson on the likely questions to be asked and help him or her in preparing for the press conference. 4. Listening patiently will help the spokesperson to understand the questions in their proper perspective. 5. If TV and radio correspondents want separate interviews, necessary facilities should be made available to them. Their requirements will be different from those of newspaper correspondents. 6. The success of a press conference depends upon good attendance, intelligent questions and lively proceedings. 7. It is advisable to cultivate the pressman first. It means personal rapport with the reporters will go a long way in the successful conduct of press conferences. 8. it is not advisable for the spokesperson to say anything off the record. It was once the convention that statements made off the record in a press conference or at a press briefing were not to be published. However, nowadays such statements are published in one form or the other. Here are some important things to be kept in mind to organize a press conference. They are: 1. Purpose, 2. Venue, 3. Day and time, 4. Invitation, 5. Background material, 6. Spokesperson, 7. Rehearsal, 8. Duration, 9. Refreshments, 10. Contact facility, 11. Press kit, 12. Follow-up, and 13. Press clippings. Let us discuss these things in detail. 1. Purpose. The purpose of the press conference should be clearly understood and defined. That will help the spokesperson to keep the theme in mind in his or her preliminary remarks and in eliciting questions. If the purpose of a press conference is to highlight the burden of taxation on the industry, the spokesperson should be a finance director or the chairman of the company, and all the data should be marshaled and supplied to the reporters. Most important of all, the press conference enables the reporters to attribute the news and comments personally to the spokesperson. 2. Venue. The press conference should be organized at an easily accessible and decent location, like a conference hall of the organization, a hotel, or at press club if there is one in the city or town. The conference of the pressman must be the first consideration rather than the glamour of the place. The venue should have good conference facilities ranging from catering to audio-visual presentation, power plug sockets for cameras, mics, and other equipment. In case the venue is distant or remote, two-way transport should be provided to the invitees. 3. Date and time. One must always keep in mind the requirements of the newspapers, radio, and television in fixing the date and time of the press conference. Sometimes VIP may ask the PR people to organize press conference late in the evening. Unless there is a spot news announcement, press conferences so near the deadline for the newspapers are not advisable. Most newspapers stop taking non-spot news after midnight. The day and time of the press conference should therefore suit the requirement of the newspapers. Either the VIP should know the requirement of the press or the PR manager should explain it to the VIP. Try to avoid clashing the press conference with some other major events or press functions in the town or city. Before fixing the date, you should verify whether there is any other important function on that day and too close in terms of timing. It is advisable to arrange a press conference in the forenoon at about 11:30 a.m. followed by a lunch, or 3 p.m. over high tea. It is also important to be aware of any VVIP movement in the town or city. If there is any such movement, the pressman will be busy covering the movement and may not attend the press conference called. 4. Invitation. All press correspondents concerned with the subject should be invited. A list of accredited correspondents can be obtained either from the State Information and Public Relations Department or Press Information Bureau of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. Under no circumstances should a press correspondent be excluded. There should not be any discrimination in inviting the press. The radio and TV correspondents and the accredited and freelance photographers may also be invited. The invitation should clearly state the subject of the press conference, the name of the spokesperson, the venue, the date and time. If the spokesperson is relatively known to the press in the area, or if he is an expert in the field, his biodata should be supplied in advance. This helps the reporters to come prepared. 5. Background material. During an interview of the post of a PR manager, the candidate was asked to name the most important aspect of organizing a press conference. In the opinion of the panel of interviewers, the preparation of background material for the spokesman was considered as the most important. This is useful both to the organization and the pressman. It will serve as an unofficial press release also. It provokes informed questions because not all reporters are equally knowledgeable on many subjects. 6. Spokesperson. He is an individual who has been elected to represent the company and speak on the organization's behalf to the media at the press conference. This could be CMD or CEO of the organization, or the next in command, or someone in the administration department or marketing department, or a member of PR wing, or a representative of the PR firm hired by the company. There can be one spokesperson or a team of 3 with one chief spokesperson and 2 spokespersons who are experts in the subject matter concerned. 7. Rehearsal. The spokespersons can rehearse a mock press conference with their colleagues to fine-tune the skills of dissemination of information and to answer the questions. Addressing the conference can be for 20 to 30 minutes, and answering the questions shall not take 30 seconds to 45 seconds per question. 8. Duration. One chief minister who was very methodical in his press conferences answered questions to the point and completed the event within 30 minutes. Another chief minister would linger on even after the purpose of the conference was over, inviting the reporters to ask anything more. It unnecessarily led to extraneous subjects being raised. The duration of the press conference should normally be 30 to 45 minutes unless the subject and the personality of the spokesperson warrants more time. But in no case the press conference should not exceed an hour. Marathon sessions miss the focus and extraneous subjects may come up. 9. Refreshments. If the press conference is arranged at 11:30 am, a working lunch can be arranged. In case it is arranged at 3 pm, a high tea that includes snacks and tea or coffee or milk or soft drinks will have to be offered. 10. Contact facility. Some reporters, especially those working with wire services, may like to use telephone or fax or may be in need of internet connectivity. So there should be such facilities readily made available. 11. Press kit. It is also called as media kit. It is a package of materials that provides additional information to support the press conference. A press kit is a crucial component of a press conference. It should contain essential information about the organization, including A. Press release, which is a concise summary of the announcement or news. B. Face sheet on product or service. It includes information about the product or service, key statistics, milestones and achievements. C. Backgrounder. It should contain the history of the organization. D. PR dossier. It is a document to tell about organization's media coverage of the occasions in the past. E. Boilerplate. It means a section of the standard text about what the organization does with facts and figures in the size, number of employees, sector, etc. F. Biographies. Brief profiles of key personnel of the organization. G. High resolution photos and videos. These are visual assets that support the story. H. Awards. If the organization has received any awards or won a competition or got any form of public recognition, it shall be included in the press kit. Media contact information. Contact details of key officials of the organization for follow-up interviews. J. FAQs. A set of anticipated questions and answers. K. Social media following. It includes information about organizations' social media platforms like websites, blogs, and accounts of Twitter, Insta, Facebook, etc. L. Folder and writing material. All the material things in print, photos and digital storage devices like pen drives or DVDs together with a scribbling pad and a pen or pencil shall be placed in a folder and handed as soon as the reporters arrive at the press conference. M. Gifts. This is an important item. Sample items of the products belonging to the organization, some kind of utility articles bearing the logo of the organization, or anything that reminds the organization can be gifted. Care shall be taken that the reporters should not feel that they are being bribed by way of gifting such articles. A press kit should be easy to navigate, visually appealing, and contain accurate and up-to-date information. 12. Follow-up. The PR manager may call and arrange media kit material for those correspondents who could not attend the PC. 13. Press clippings. Clippings of press reports of the conference shall be gathered. They shall be appended by a brief note describing the response from the press, how it was been featured should be submitted to the head of the organization. Copies of the press clippings, digital record of the news broadcast on radio and television shall also be circulated among the top officials. The total newspaper space in column centimeters, duration of time in radio and TV, and the data related to the coverage in social media shall be placed on record. Now, what is to be done after the press conference? To the extent possible, the PR manager can make personal contact with media representatives, at least of the major media outlets represented. In a small town, this could mean 1 or 2 people. In a big city, there might be 20 or more. PR manager can have a short, pleasant conversation with these people and make a good impression. By this, they will remember the PR man whenever they need information or a story about the issue, and they will respond whenever they are contacted. By looking through the attendance register, it should be possible to determine which major media were not represented. Not everyone may arrive, as the press conference may be preempted by some late breaking news story elsewhere. PR department may want to hand over a press release and press kit to these people, send an audio or video feed, or try to schedule an interview with a reporter and one of the press conference spokespersons. May also review the press conference with others from the organization that attended. What went well, what could have been done better, and how to improve the next press conference to be held, something like that. A model press conference. Here is an excerpt from a national newspaper that reported a press conference by the Prime Minister years ago. It was published with the headline, quote, PM conducts press conference with aplomb, unquote, New Delhi, 10th March. The PM today gave full liberty to pressmen to raise questions at the press conference. PM, who appeared in a good mood, sat alone on the dais. A number of people from the PM's office occupied a row of chairs placed behind the PM's seat. The Information and Broadcasting Minister occupied a chair along with officials in the front row. Several times the gathering burst into laughter as the Prime Minister failed to place a correspondent because of the bright TV camera lights. A number of correspondents and officials had to keep standing as the conference hall was packed to its capacity. Prime Minister translated the very first question asked in Hindi for the benefit of foreign correspondents after inquiring from official if there were facilities for simultaneous translation. After a little while, another question came up in Hindi. PM looked at the reporter and said, "अरे भाई, सब अंग्रेजी में क्यों नहीं करते? नहीं तो ये 2 बार करना पड़ेगा." Why don't you put the question in English? Otherwise, I'll have to answer it in Hindi as well as in English. Throughout the press conference, the Prime Minister ensured that all those who wanted to ask questions got at least one opportunity to question. Press conferences are powerful tools in public relations. They offer an opportunity to share information, build relationships, and shape public opinion. With careful planning, attention to detail, and a commitment to accuracy, organizations can leverage press conferences and press kits to achieve their goals and build a positive reputation. The role of press conferences in shaping public opinion is significant. They offer an opportunity to present a narrative, address misconceptions, and showcase achievements. By providing accurate and timely information, organizations can influence media coverage and public perception. Effective press conferences, number 1, can build credibility by demonstrating expertise and thought leadership. 2, can manage crisis by addressing controversies and provide context. 3, can promote products or services by showcasing offerings and value proposition. And 4, can foster relationships by engaging with media and build trust. Press kits add value to the press conferences. Thank you for listening.